Hello, and thank you for listening to the Bluff Creek Project Podcast. For the month of July, we will not be airing any episodes. Rest assured, during the month of July, we will be recording new episodes to showcase for the month of August. Also, due to the ongoing pandemic, COVID-19, for everyone's safety, the Bluff Creek Project campout has been postponed until further notice. As always, we thank you for your support. See you soon!
Hello and welcome to the Bluff Creek Project Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tate Hieronymus, and I will not be joined by Kip Morrill today because he is busy moving and getting a new job, and that can take some time, and I do not envy that one bit. But today we got something pretty cool. It's an interview with Bob Gimlin that I was able to film at the Patterson-Gimlin film site. Dana Perez, he's the author of the Bigfoot Times. If you haven't heard of that, you should check it out. But he asked if I could write a short article of how I got my interview with Bob Gimlin. And here's what he said. Here's the foreword for what he said for the article. At my request, Tate Hieronymus, no relation to you-know-who, submitted this short article to bring us up to speed on a brilliant interview with Bob Gimlin right in front of the big tree, visible in the background of the PG film. I have seen the entire video, and to my knowledge, he posted part of it on Facebook. It represents a first, as I can think of no one else who has interviewed Bob Gimlin on the film site. Other videos have been shot of Bob, but I suspect they were in the area and not at the film site. So yeah, that's what Daniel Perez has said. I'm not going to read what I wrote. I'll post it in the description so you guys can read that. The video is actually 6 minutes long, but I only posted about 2 minutes publicly on YouTube and on our social media sites, and I'll put links in the description on that for that too. But the full video, you can actually see it at the North American Bigfoot Center in Boring, Oregon. It's run by Cliff Barackman from Finding Bigfoot and his wife Melissa. So without further ado, here's Bob Gimlin's interview. Good night, everybody.
Well, the sighting over here back a ways there, Patty was standing across the creek, and Roger and I rode up the other side of that, along the creek. She was standing on the opposite side of the creek from us, and so when we come around that bend, Roger was in front of me, and of course his horse started jumping around, and my horse started jumping around, and Roger eventually got off his horse, grabbed a camera out of the right-hand saddlebag, and then started across the creek running with the camera up, like that. And then the bank went up just a slight bit, and Roger kind of stuck his toe in there and fell down on his elbows. And then he got back up and went over to a tree that was down, not too big around, probably about that size. And the sand had covered it up fairly well, but he stabilized his arms on that. And that's when you see the stabilized part of the film footage, and then she kept right on walking like that. I was still sitting on the other side of the creek, sitting on my horse holding him, and Roger ended up about at this angle here and said, "Bob, would you cover me?" Well, I knew what he meant, so I rode across the creek, and about at that angle, and she was about approximately there, and so I rode across the creek, stepped down off the horse, and that's when that famous turn of the head was about right down in there.